As I told, I will be starting up with module 5. So the module 5 states input and interaction, curves and computer animation. So what does this module consist of? Basically, this module consists of some of the input devices, how to interact with such input devices, and then will study into deep with respect to computer animation. So we'll move on with input and interaction, as this module is basically termed into two. One is input and interaction, other will be curves as well as computer animations. So let's move on to how input and interaction is done. So let's see the introduction part of the module. So first, what is input devices? I want you people to answer. What is input devices? With the help of input devices, what do you do?
Input data.
Yeah, you will provide input data to your system with the help of input devices. So I can call there is an interaction happening between you as well as the computer with the help of some input devices. For example, keyboard, mouse, and all are the input devices. So this is how you interact with the system, right? With the help of the interface called input devices. So in this module, basically, we'll turn on some development with respect to graphics programs, how you will interact with the system, how you will code the system with the help of graphics interfaces. So basically our discussion with respect to this module will come under three parts. The first will consider variety of devices available for interaction. As I told, this module basically tells you about how you will interact with the devices, that is with the help of graphic programs. So first we'll check out what are the devices, the different devices which are being available for such kind of interaction. Then we'll see client server networks as well as client server graphics. First we'll study how client server network works, and then we'll move on to related to graphic client server, that is how graphic client server works. And then we'll finally develop a program that demonstrate the important features of interactive graphic programming. Finally, once we study this, we'll see how the program works, how the program demonstrates the respective features of such graphic programming. Then moving on to interaction. What is interaction? One of the most important advances in computer technology is enabling users to interact with computer devices or computer displays. As I can tell, interaction is one of the best advantage as well as advancement in the computer technology, with the help of which you can interact with the system, right? We need not require any robot or anything, so that you can so that that particular robot will interact with the system. You can directly interact with the systems, right? So there are some projects happening with respect to these interactions. There are some scientific works going on with respect to interactions. As you all know, interacting with the system is very easy with the help of different input devices. If you have input devices, if you take an example of your system or a laptop, if you have keyboard as well as a mouse, you can directly interact with the system. So if I take an example of mobile phone, how would you interact with the mobile phone? Is directly through the interface, right? What interfaces you use in the mobile phone to give input? First, you will log into your mobile phone with the help of some passwords. That is one interface you are doing. That is one interaction you are doing. Then the password might be anything. The face lock is one of the security part you give, and then thumb impressions. So these are some that I cannot even thumb impression. The finger impressions you can feed as a password as well. So these are some of the interactions you do with the help of your mobile phone. So as I told, there are some scientific works going on with respect to interaction. There is one scientist called Evan Sutherland Project Sketchpad, which basically was launched to present the era of interactive computer graphics. Basically, this Sutherland, that is Evan Sutherland, launched a sketchpad. What do you mean by sketchpad? It is nothing but a digital pad. With the help of a pen, you can draw anything with respect to that particular pad. to take iPad also. Some iPads consist of some pens, right? With the help of that pens, you can sketch anything on the iPad without using your fingers onto your iPad. So that is one of the example of interaction with respect to the system or the example, that is iPad. So even Sutherland, he basically launched the project of interaction within computer graphics. What did he do? Since in the year 1963, when this work was published, there have been many advances in both hardware as well as software, but the viewpoint ideas he introduced still dominate computer graphics. That is, this was the first invention of interaction with the help of computer graphics. That is, with the help of this project, that is even Sutherland Project Sketchpad, in the year 1963, when this work was being published, it gave an interface to the devices with the help of which you can interact with computer graphics. So this is one of the project listed, an example of interaction. And there are some supporting systems with respect to the software which we studied, that is OpenGL. OpenGL does not support interaction directly, so we'll be using windowing and input functions were left out of the API for probability reasons. The software which we are using, that is OpenGL, it has not been supported directly with the interaction devices, because there are some functionalities with respect to windowing as well as input functions which are not actually considered. So we will avoid such potential difficulties by using a simple library or toolkit, as we did it in chapter 2. That is nothing but we'll be using GLUT toolkit. If you have not installed GLUT toolkit in your system, you cannot directly provide interface for this particular software, that is OpenGL. So I stressed while installation of the software on GLUT library. So to avoid such kind of problems, that is interaction problems, we use GLUT toolkit, which will enable us to avoid the complexities with respect to the windowing system. So this is one point you need to remember. That is, we are using GLUT toolkit so that there is no problem regarding the interaction point of view. Then there is some outline with respect to the chapter, that is this module. What does the outline tells us? We start by describing several interactive devices and how to interact with them, as I told in the previous slide. We then put these devices in the setting of client server network. Once we study the interactive devices, that is interaction devices and how to interact with them, then we link these particular devices, that is interactive devices, with client server network. That is, can someone tell what is client server network? I guess you have studied in the previous semesters client server network. Anyone from the class? No, you have not studied client server network. Okay. As you all know, I guess you have studied this, you have forgotten. What is client server network is? It is basically a computer network which is basically centralized. Centralized in the sense there is one center point of that particular network with the help of which the other systems are being connected. I can call that centralized network as server. That is the second terminology, server, with the help of which many personal systems are being connected to it, and then it will use the services provided by that particular server. Suppose I can take an example of the Wi-Fi which has been installed in the college. I can tell that as a server, and the devices connected to it and using its services are being called as client. So that is an example of client server network. Then once we link the devices to the client server network, we'll introduce the how the interaction is done with the help of APIs. Then we'll generate some sample programs with the help of that devices. Then let's start up with the important topic, that is input devices. What are input devices? As your friend told, input devices is nothing but with the help of which you are providing input to your system, or the interface you are using to provide input to the system. Then from the physical perspective, each device has properties that make it more suitable for certain tasks than for others. These input devices are considered and classified into many, but each and every input system has their own properties with the help of which it will take the input and provide that particular input to the system which you are going to perform operations on that particular systems. Basically, these I can call input devices as physical devices. So basically, there are two primary types of physical devices. That is, these input devices are classified into two. One is pointing devices, other is keyboard devices. Can someone tell what is an example of pointing device? Pointing device. No? What are the pointing device which you come across in your day-to-day life? Isn't mouse a pointing device? Yes, right. Okay, at least tell yes or no for what I'm asking. Pointing device. An example for pointing device is a mouse.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Keyboard device. Keyboard. You know how to interact with keyboard. Keyboard is an example for keyboard devices. So in input devices, basically there are two types. One is pointing device and the other is keyboard device. So as we'll check out how this physical input devices works, that is pointing as well as keyboard devices. The pointing device allows the user to indicate a position on the screen. You can check out, I'm moving the cursor here, I'm pointing to devices here. So this is what the pointing device does. It basically points to some position onto the screen and almost always incorporates one or more buttons. That is, you can give options for this pointing as well, with the help of which you can provide input to your system. Then what are keyboard device? A keyboard device is almost always a physical keyboard. Basically, check out in pointing devices. There is an virtual pointing device as well with respect to the system. That is an another advance coming onto the keyboard. It might be of software part as well, right? Keyboard device. Can you give an example for that? That is virtual keyboard, that is basically used for security purposes. There is a physical keyboard as well. There is a virtual keyboard as well, with the help of which you can directly give the credential to your system. That basically works. When does this keyboard, that is, if I take an example of virtual keyboard, when does it works? It basically works with the help of this pointing device. If there is no cursor or if there is no mouse installed in the system or attached to the system, you can't use virtual keyboard, right? So that is one of the disadvantage of virtual keyboard. Then the keyboard device is almost always a physical keyboard, as you all know, but can be generalized to include any device that returns character codes to a program. What does keyboard does? Keyboard basically takes the input from the user, right, and converts into machine level language. Is that the working of keyboard? Yes, right. It basically takes the input from the user and converts it into machine level language. What does the machine understand? Basically, machine understands zeros and ones, right? So what is the working of keyboard there? It basically personalizes the input which is taken from the user and converts that input in ones and zeros. That is the working of keyboard device. Then these are some of the examples. Pointing devices can be broken into two types. Again, as I said, there is two classification with respect to with respect to input devices. One is pointing device and the other is keyboard device. Pointing devices is subcategorized into two. One is relative position devices and the other is absolute position devices. So check out what are the examples of relative position devices. One is your mouse and the other is joystick. Can some have anyone from the class seen what is a joystick or the physical representation of joystick? Have you anyone seen the joystick? No. Okay. Why joystick is used is it is basic. It is just like a lever which is basically used to move several direction of that particular image or movement in the display screen. Similar to mouse, the working of joystick is also similar. This joystick is basically used in games, video games. If someone have video games, you can check out. You have some points, right, with the help of which, like buttons, with the help of which you can uh, what I can say, you can change the position of the game or the user who is playing that particular game, right? That is, if you are playing a racing game, you can give the directions with respect to that game. So there comes the joystick. So that is one example of relative position devices. Then absolute position devices. This is if I consider this as an iPad, as I told, an example of iPad for pointing devices, input devices. You can check out. There is a pen with the help of which you can draw or write onto the screen. Another example is your screen touch laptops or mobile phones, with the help of which you can perform or give the input directly to the system. Then how there is another device called absolute position device here, which is actually called as a photo detector, with the help of which there are some system installed. These are basically used in scientific laboratories, with the help of which it also consists of some pens, with the help of which you'll provide input to that particular system with respect to some threshold with respect to the computer. So these are the two subcategories with respect to pointing devices. Then other pointing devices, as I told, an example as joystick as well as space balls. These are basically used in pointing devices for pointing that particular position onto the screen. For example, your video games. Then we have something called as logical devices. I guess these are some of the basics which you have studied in your PUCs, right? That is about your computers. So what is a logical device? Can someone tell what is a logical device? Logical devices. You don't know what is a logical device? I can tell logical device as some repository objects that basically represents a physical device. That is, this logical device uses some categories with the help of which you can represent an input devices. In logical devices, there are two major characteristics which basically describes the logical behavior of an input devices. So we'll check out what are those characteristics. One characteristics, the measurements the device returns to the user program, and the other is when the device returns those programs, that is those measurements of the programs. The some of the characteristics of this logical devices are basically dependent on the measurements of the devices as well as the return of that particular measurement. Then there are some APIs which are being used in logical devices. One is called FIGS and GCase, which basically consider 6 classes of logical input devices. That is, these two are the APIs which are being used in logical input devices. So, with respect to our software, that is OpenGL, this OpenGL basically does not support or does not follows these kind of APIs, but if we look at these classes briefly, we'll check out how OpenGL provides similar functionalities in the next slides, in the upcoming slides. Basically, OpenGL directly doesn't support these kind of APIs, but it do support some of the functionalities related to such kind of logical devices. So there are some functionalities related to OpenGL. One is string, that is with respect to the logical devices. Basically, a string, with respect to string, it is nothing but a device that provides ASCII strings to the user program. Then most windowing systems and OpenGL do not distinguish between a logical device and the keyboard. Basically, in OpenGL, it considers both your keyboard as well as the logical device as similar. So that is an example related to your string operations with respect to logical devices. Then the next is a locator. What is a locator? It is nothing but a device that provides a position in the world coordinates to the user program. In OpenGL, basically we use a terminology, a device called as locator, which basically provides the position of the coordinates in the program. When is this kind of device is implemented? It is usually implemented via a pointing device such as mouse or a trackball. In some of the programs for rotating a cube as well, you had some mouse operations, right? So at that time, while implementing such operations, we'll be using this locator. Then in OpenGL, we usually have to do the conversion from screen coordinates to world coordinates within our own programs. We have seen this, how to convert a screen coordinate towards a world coordinates with respect to programs. That is, one example is a cube program where you produce a cube, you draw a cube, and then you'll rotate a cube with respect to different axes, and then fill up with respect to some colors. So these are some of the examples where locator can be used. Then there is another option called as pick. What does this pick does is basically this pick is nothing but a device that basically returns an identifier and object to that particular user program. That is, it uses some specific identification for that particular object and you'll use in that particular program. How the implementation is done? It is basically implemented with the same device, that is locator, but consists of some different interfaces. Basically in OpenGL, what happens, why we use picking is, it is basically used for selection purposes. That is, if you want to select some particular functionality in the software, we'll use this device called pick. Then another device called as choice. These are some of the devices which are being used with respect to OpenGL. So there is a choice. It is nothing but a device that allows the user to select one of a number of options. That is, if I suppose check out, if I right click here, there are some options given to this option coming into this slide, right? Similarly, in a program also, we can give number of choices by the function called choice. This device is basically used whenever you want to perform choice operation onto this screen. If you want to give choice to the particular program, you can use this device. In OpenGL, we can use various widgets provided by the windowing system. That is, it depends on the software what kind of widgets are provided to the windowing system. Then we have another devices called dial, stroke. We'll finish it off this and then end up with the class. That is, one, we have dial. What is this dial? Basically, dial provides an analog input to the user program. That is, it consists of some analog. As there are two different inputs, one is analog as well as digital. What happens in dials is it provides analog inputs so that the program can receive that input and then perform the operations. In dial, basically it consists of some facilities with respect to the graphical devices such as slide bars. What are slide bars are? Slide bars are nothing but some functions which are being used in OpenGL so that a bar representation of the object is done. Then we have another device called as strokes. What is stroke is? It basically gives you the location of that particular area. That is, if I tell why stroke is used, it basically returns array of locations. That is, as in the program we have huge number of memory to be stored. With respect to that particular memory, it will give the location of each and every memory located in the form of array. So how this stroke works is, if the stroke is similar to that of locators, which basically gives the location or the position of something. This is implemented such that such pushing down a mouse button starts the transfer of data into specified array, and the second action such as releasing of the button ends the transfer. That is, it gives, if you hold the mouse button, it will give the transfer of object. That is, the data whatever is being stored in the location is being retrieved from the array, or if you release the mouse button, it will gives the end of that particular transfer of the data. So these are some of the devices you need to remember with respect to OpenGL. So these are some of the logical operations, that is logical devices operations with respect to OpenGL. So we started the class late, so I would stop here. So I guess next you have which class? I guess there is open elective class next. So we'll stop here. So in today's class, what and all did we study? We started up with the module 5. We saw how input and interaction works. We saw the how interaction happens. Then we saw how interaction happens with respect to OpenGL. Then we saw some of the input devices, that is physical input devices, then classification of physical input devices. Then we saw some of the pointing devices such as joystick as well as space balls. Then we started up with the logical devices, where we saw some of the functionalities used, or some of the devices used with respect to OpenGL, that is string, locator, pick, as well as choice, dial, and stroke. In the upcoming classes, we'll see there are some topics related to measuring and triggering of that particular devices. Then what are some of the input modes? There are some request modes with respect to the software. Then some modes we'll study in the upcoming